Hey, thank y'all for stopping by camping. Oh, it is a glorious day. We are breaking out an old classic, banana bread. But folks, I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks on how to keep this thing moist there on the inside, and then we're gonna top it with a brown sugar crumble that's gonna be so good. Hurry, I'll get the ladder, I'll climb up and get the nanners for us. You know, you go to the store and you think, I'm gonna get me a whole bundle of them bananas, I'm gonna take them home, and then you get busy and things happen and you look around later and what is it? Whew, your nanners have done got discolored, and a lot of folks think, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them now. Folks, that is when it's time to make some nanner bread, and this is so good. Shan has changed this up a little and she puts that cream cheese in there with the mixture to keep it moist and to give it some creaminess, and whew, it is so good. Top it off with a brown sugar crumble. Breakfast, dinner, and supper, happy meal. You got it all, and it started with some bananas. It did. But folks, as always, everything that we use in this video and the recipe will be down there in the little description below. Some of you having a little trouble finding that when you comment back to me. I don't know where it's at. Well, on a mobile, there's a little arrow down there, and it'll point you in the right direction. If you're on your laptop or your big computer, just go down there where it says show more. Click, click, take you down there, printable recipe, go to the blog. There's jillions of them there. You can cook everything in the world, even nanner bread. So we're going to keep this traditional also and cook it in a loaf pan. I'm going to use a Dutch oven though, and we're going to show you some little tips and tricks to get that done, and it'll be just as good, if not better, as doing it in the house. Well, let's get this process underway, and a lot of you be thinking, where'd you get that fancy dish bowl out? Y'all be thinking this is for a soap dish container. Really, it is not. It's to hold your cream cheese. That's the way I'm going to use it today. And we're starting with a half a block of cream cheese. And hey, did y'all know that this recipe was in this book? I don't know the exact page number, but I have seen it. There's a lot of stuff marked. Look here, brown sugar banana bread. Maybe I can replicate that today, I hope so. Hey, if y'all ain't got one of them, Shan will have you a place down there where you can find it, because it is a great book, it is. So let's get this softened cream cheese out of there. You need to let it come to room temperature at least. And then 2 nanners is all it takes. And we're gonna incorporate them nanners and the cream cheese together, and then we are gonna beat it on high. But guess what, folks? Y'all have seen me use it many times, but it ain't here today. That's the DeWalt mixer. You folks at home can use it on one of them fancy mixers if you got it. Me, I'm gonna use a fork and a whisk today. So bear with me, it may take a little time, and there might even be some arthritis incorporated in it before we get through. Well, I think we got that mashed up best we can with that fork, so I think the recipe in the book says beat well. So hang on with me, folks. I got the mixer on high, I do. Time out, my shoulder hurts. A cup of white sugar. And beat again. So after you get that cream together really well, everything is mixed up smooth. 1 stick of melted butter. Whew, the butter people are gonna be happy. We're gonna mix that again until we get that butter incorporated in there. Well, we got that mixed up really well in a separate bowl. In this little mixing bowl, I'll have me 1 cup and 3/4 of flour. I'm gonna add me some baking powder.
That much?
Yeah, that was just the right amount. And I'm gonna add some salt, which is that much. I'm gonna mix it all together, and we have windage. Duke, are you getting some of that over there, buddy? Huh? He's just getting foggy. So we got that mixed together well. Let me bring this one back over here. We're gonna incorporate that in there slowly and mix it together. So turn your beater on low, okay? And then just sift you some in there at a time. And if it's windy in your kitchen in a house, shut the window. When you get it to that stage, folks, and you get that flour incorporated in there well, I need you to add some vanilla at this time. Which is exactly that much, a capful. Start the mixer one more time. Let me pull a rope. Here we go. Well, I think y'all can see that consistency is just right. And look here, we done got our loaf pan. We do. I need you to give it a good greasing. Do not use WD-40 or Trop Arctic. This stuff here is pretty good. It's called buttered flavor. Now we just got to get all this into that little container. Some of y'all be telling me I needed one of these, so I got one. Well, wonder where culinary is. I need a dishwasher. Oh, there he is. Do you do dishes? He says, I'll work on that, Dad, for you. I need you to smooth this out in this little loaf pan. Duke, you can clean the spatula in a minute, buddy. Well, let's mix up this little crumble. And folks, it is simple and it is easy. I'm talking some light brown sugar here. 2 heaping tablespoons. And I want you to notice when you get that brown sugar and it's got them deals in it, you automatically, you want to mash it, don't you? Do not mash it this time. We need them in there. I like them crumbles like that. So we got our 2 tablespoons of brown sugar in there heaping, and just a little dab of cinnamon. Now this is hard to do in the wind, Shan. See it over here? You need to take the bowl out yonder to the north side of the barn. Take you a fork and just give it a little stirring. And then, folks, I just want you to sprinkle it as evenly as you can across this nanner bread. The wind is blowing my crumble away. And there you have it. It is a done deal. Now we just need to cook it. So I'm going to go over there. I'll meet y'all at the fire in the Dutch oven. We'll get this thing to going. Well, folks, let's talk about cooking this. And now, I got me a tall trivet there on the ground, as you can see, and I love to cook bread on a tall trivet, especially when the wind blowing 25 miles an hour sort of slows things down a little. So we're going to leave our tall trivet there. I am cooking, and I want you to see this, a deep Dutch oven. And I'm talking deep by sidewall ways. That way, when you're cooking breads, stuff like that, cakes that are going to rise a lot, your heat source is not as close to the top of your finished product. So let's go ahead and set him on there if he'll fit. And when you're cooking something and you're using sort of like an insert, but just even this little old pan, and you're setting it in a dry oven like that, it's hard on cast iron, folks. I like to give it a little greasing before we ever start, and it don't take much. That way that it's just sitting there metal against metal, just dry. So just give you a little snort of any of your favorite oil. I'm using some grapeseed today. And then just sort of wipe her around there. What happens next? Will the loaf pan fit? Will a square peg going around hole? I don't know, it's gonna be close. Oh my gosh, look there, it's bulletproof, it'll fit. We'll get the lid on it, get us some coals, top and bottom, we good to go. Well, you seen me on the tall trivet, get me some coals out of Bertha there, shake that ash out of the bottom there. We got them holes in that shovel, remember? Lay a heavy line of coals right there around the outside edge of that oven and heavy on top. Now remember folks, we're sitting in that Dutch oven in a loaf pan, so we got a little barrier there to help us out. Now the wind is blowing, we will have to rotate pretty often today, but being as we're on a tall trivet and we got that loaf pan as a little barrier in there, we can cook this pretty well with that remaining constant hot heat. Well, it is a done deal. And folks, we got to get that thing out there and let it cool. Don't be grabbing it with your bare fingers. I guarantee you it'll take the hide off of them, it will. Or as I say, what is it, Shan? Burn the hair off a frog's butt, it will. Now you seen me as we was going through this cooking process. The wind got up to was probably 30-35 miles an hour, blew some stuff down in camp. So we raked that heat away from it a little further, and things was getting really brown on top, so I just did away with that heat because that lid had enough there to just keep it. But also, you've got so much moisture in there being with the bananas and the cream cheese too, that you get a lot of that that's hard to cook out when you have to cook it fast like that. So you see me folks, at one time I needed to slow this thing way down. So I took it plumb off the heat, got it off that bottom heat, set it over there. I probably let it set maybe 4 to 5 minutes just to let that sort of cool off a little, and then went back, and that's when I targeted that heat in the middle because it was still so moist right there in the middle of it. That way we're getting some of that concentration just of heat in one spot to where we can get that moisture cook out of there, and it sets up. Insert your mesquite tree stick, whatever stick you got laying around. When it comes out clean, it is a done deal. Remember, in the house you won't have this much trouble. You're about 350 degrees for about 50 to 55 minutes and let her cool before you even try to slice it. Well, you see it come out of there. After you let it cool, slice you off some of that. I want you to look here. You can see that good moisture that's in there when you break that rascal apart. It just smells like home to me. Fresh banana bread, that cream cheese with that brown sugar crumble on top. Hang on. Folks, that is what I call good. Shannon has come up with a great deal here. It is better than good. It is what you call all right. Make me want to climb a nanner tree if we only had one, so I'll try to climb. Ain't no nanners in camp, folk. Can't do her, so we'll just do the monkey crawl. Whew, I do love me some nanner bread. It is some of that fine dining, but that cream cheese in there keeps it so moist. But when you get that crunch of that brown sugar right there on top, don't get no better than that. Come here. Y'all have been here all day. Come on. Big,
still working on dishes.
Big, you want to try this? You wait. Big has got seniority. Here you go. Huh? Big says, I really like it. I'll wag the tail. Well, folks, as always, we sure thank you for this. We had a good time. We did. You can do this outside or inside. Hey, it is great to do in the backyard. We showed you how to do that with the little loaf pan. Be careful of your heat if it is windy. As always, I tip my hat to all our servicemen and women and veterans who have kept that flag flying above our camp. We salute you, we do. But also, remember folks, we got a lot to be thankful for in these times. Everybody that's keeping us safe, keeping us stocked, everyone, we need to lift them up in prayer. Thank you, Shannon and Andy, for always making me look better than I probably am. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll see you down the Banana Bread Trail. But folks, we're gonna do it in a loaf plan, just loaf plan.
Loaf plan.
We got a loaf plan, drawed it out, we did.
Big, what are you doing? What do you got? Big.
I don't know what that is. I've never made this. Hard to get good help. They didn't sing that in Oklahoma.